Welcome back to the show. My apologies to Matt. This is live television, Matt. You know, that's the way it goes on live television. I'll remind everybody about that show at the end of the show as we do our wrap-up. My next guest, regular guest on this show, way back, I think the last time we had him on was probably about 7 or 8 years ago. So happy to have him back, and he's always been innovating and coming up with new ideas. I'm joined by Chef Roy Walden from the King's Fusion Coffee. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm awesome. And you?
I am great. Missed you too.
Miss you so much.
Oh, listen, you used to come in and bring some of the most beautiful food. And so, you know what, actually, before we get to the coffee and the coffee rub and, you know, how innovative you've been, like, tell me about when you first got, like, where did that love of food come from in your life?
My grandma.
Yeah.
You know, I was about this tall, trying to look over the pot, but I could only smell it. So she would, like, bring it down, let me smell things, and I'm like, okay. This is great. And it also opened a lot of doors for me, even as a kid, learning how to cook. And I was selling sweet potato pies at 13, you know.
Nice. And you've had a restaurant here, a couple of restaurants here in Ottawa over the years. And then you got into coffee. You have to tell me about that. What was the inspiration behind that?
Right before the pandemic, you know, I got my status had changed, so I got my citizenship, so I was really happy about that.
Congratulations.
So right before the pandemic, I was like, okay, I got to slow down a little bit. I wanted some more time with the kids. Okay. So I was like, okay, the restaurant industry, I'll have to take a break, a little hiatus. Then I was like, you know what, I'm bored.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
So I started to paint. So this is actually one of my paintings.
Oh, it is? Okay.
And I decided, I was like, I'm his only child, so I wanted to see it more often. I wanted to see it everywhere. So I'm like, okay, what can we actually do to get this painting? So I decided to paint, and I made my own clothing line. That was great, but it wasn't enough for me.
Right.
So I ended up, like, every morning I wake up and we sip coffee, coffee, coffee. Oh, coffee! Wait a minute. Let me find somebody that actually does something that I like. And since I never gave people stale chicken, so I'm like, hey, what about fresh roasted coffee? Nice. How could I really get into that and also get my artwork seen all over the world at the same time? So I bumped into this guy. He used to have a roaster on Bank Street, or a store on Bank Street. Then all of a sudden, he decided during the pandemic not to do that anymore and only do private label coffees. Okay. So I was like, okay, let me figure out what blends I like. And then we started off with 2. It was like, okay, this is good, but can we do more? You know, because there's regions from all over the world. There's beans everywhere.
Oh,
there's beans from all over the place. So I'm like, okay, let's put this together, this together, this together. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, let's put my name on it. Let's do this. I love it. We have enough people that enjoy coffee. I'm not trying to reinvent coffee. Right. I'm just trying to tell people, like, you know what? You have your regular stuff, but guess what? Let me introduce your palate to something fresh.
Have something better.
What we do is we don't roast the beans until you order them. Wow. So it's freshly roasted to order, and that's what we specialize in.
I love it.
But at that time, I like, okay, I'm making all this coffee, and I have all these coffee filters filled with used coffee grounds. What to do? Right. So I tried. I did skin rub. I did exfoliator. You know, that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you add some shea butters and stuff like that. It's really good for your feet. Makes your skin glow and stuff like that. But it's like, that's not enough. And I found out the coffee filter goes really good under a potted plant, and it actually adds nitrogen to your soil for you when you're watering.
We take our grinds and use it for the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, okay, what else can we do? What else can we do? And I was like, you know what? You should be able to eat this stuff too.
Well, and your love of food, it was a natural. So you created these coffee rubs, right? Tell me about what have you brought along with you here today?
So this one I have bowed, smoky bowed, which I make out of my Motor City bowed coffee, which is my darkest roast that I have. And I had to name it after my city, of course. Detroit. Yeah. So that's what me giving back to my city. So I'm like, okay, add a little bit more ingredients, and then it became a beautiful, delicious coffee rub. Nice. So what I brought today is some chicken breasts. Okay. Okay. So we're not going to deal with gloves today because a lot of people, they don't glove it, this and that, this and that. So I'm going to show people what to do, how to do it. So we're going to turn this bag inside out. Okay. Put your hand right in it, just like that. And we're going to grab a paper towel. All right. And we're just going to blot this chicken.
Just take some of the moisture off.
Get some of that moisture off.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
Toss that. You can hand me that.
All right. Thank you, pal.
Toss that. So now you're going to take this right here and you're just going to grab it. Just going to grab it.
Flip it inside out?
Yep. Flip it inside out. And now what you have is your hands are free.
You're ready to go.
You can do other things now.
It's so true, because you're constantly rinsing, right? When you're doing poultry and pork
look,
and that sort of thing.
Your hands are clean and everything.
Yeah.
So you get to pick which one you want. You're going
that's
both?
the original.
Right.
That's the whole thing?
No, just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Just mix it around here.
Mix it around. So now you're just going to put a little air like that.
Okay.
And you're just going to rub it in.
All right.
Rub it in.
And so, you know, when I think coffee, I think beef right away.
Yeah.
Right? Or ribs.
Yeah.
But you're saying on anything. Any protein.
Any protein. Even it's vegan friendly. So even for people, the tofu lovers or just the vegetable lovers, you can sprinkle a little bit of this on your vegetables as well.
Nice,
yeah.
nice. So you brought some samples over here before we run out of time.
Okay.
I got like just over a minute. So you can grill that, you can put it in the oven, you can bake it, smoke it.
So these ones I did today.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Because you told me before the show I had to do the taste test, right?
So I got.
And what else have you got here? What's
this?
this?
What this is? So simple. You want to keep the kids happy. So this is regular white rice.
Okay.
Mixed with salsa and corn.
That's easy enough.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Right. And then I made you some sweet potatoes.
Of course. Well, that's what you started with as a kid, selling those sweet potato pies.
One of the greatest things you can do with coffee is always an ingredient. Coffee can be any ingredient. So I made some barbecue sauce, and I also made coffee table syrup, and I put them together. So you have coffee barbecue sauce and coffee table syrup in this.
I want to mention, everybody, just over 30 seconds left here, that you can find it at your independent grocer, 4 Styles. At Somerset and Bank Street locations, and then you've got 10 of your coffees online, and of course the rubs online as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got to do
a fork and knife right
Oh,
over
you got okay. I was going in all fingers here. No surprise, absolutely fan. Look he's doing the happy dance over here. I love it. Leroy, always a pleasure, man.
Thank
Great
you
to
so
see
much
you
for
again.
having me.
Visit the website, find out more information where you can find them. We'll be right back after this.